It's Christmas Eve. Tom makes the final checks required before the first visitors arrive. Janice checks the window displays. Both of them know, as the sun sets on their display, this is the pivotal night of the year. Their first display night is just a week prior to Christmas. Like I said in episode 1, this display is not advertised. They live far from a busy road and their street is a cul-de-sac. This display relies purely on word of mouth. I remember clearly when I moved into the suburb, neighbours were keen to tell me about this Christmas display, even though it was July. 3 years on, I'm really pleased I can bring this display to a world audience via YouTube. There's a huge night ahead for Tom and Janice. New and repeat visitors, numerous greetings, questions, and plenty of Merry Christmases.
It's a demanding job. It's not just putting them up, you've got to check them all. It's not a drive-by. It's people do, but they miss it. It's designed to look in. That's the only way my wife would do it. In fact, the drive-bys we don't particularly worry about because they can't see. You know, they've got to come in, they've got to spend the time, walk around, have a look. The kids go berserk on the lawns. We'll go for it. You're most welcome, and the same to you. Okay. I'm glad you like it.
What a pleasure you give so many people.
Well, that's the idea of it, isn't it? Eh? That's what we hope to do. You're welcome.
Again.
You're welcome. You have a wonderful day tomorrow.
Oh, thank you so much. Happy Christmas.
Yes, if you didn't have one before.
No, no.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
One of the big attractions of this Christmas lights display is an amazing miniature Christmas village made with Lemax collectibles. Episode 2 in this series of videos details how this display is created. There's lots going on in this custom miniature world, and it's an amazing collection to peruse. Let's now have a close look at Janice's window displays.
We had a woman come in the other night, and she said, little ones with her, and she said, I used to bring my daughter here when she was like that. She said, now I bring my granddaughter. So 2 generations come there. 15 years. You should have a lolly, that might fix that. You think a lolly will help you? Eh?
What do you say?
That might help you a lot, Tom. Yeah, okay.
It's now 11 PM, and huge numbers of visitors start to descend on the display. Tom ensures all the children receive a sweet. I really wonder if some of them think he's Santa Claus. I'll be honest here, he does dash off at midnight looking rather rushed, and Janice tells me he's often late for Christmas lunch. There's a festive atmosphere as the crowds swell. This is the prime time to visit the display. Some people have walked from far away, avoiding the impossible task of finding a parking spot.
The biggest buzz we ever got was some years ago. One evening, just after dark, we had quite a few people around, but then a car pulled up out the front, and then a little girl came up in a wheelchair. Now the girl could have been anywhere between 13 and 50. She was severely handicapped, both physically and to a large extent, from what we can see, mentally. But the poor little tyke, as I wheeled her up the driveway, her face just lit up as she looked around and saw things. It just lit up brilliantly. And Jan and I looked at one another and said, well, that's what it's all about. When you see that little kid and all the disability she had, but how she reacted to the lights, to Christmas, to people. It was beautiful to see, and that stayed with us all the years, and a big reason as to why we keep doing it.
This display does not rely on computer choreographed lights to music or the latest Christmas gimmick. What's driving this display is Tom and Janice's amazing gift of the Christmas spirit and their very personal touch in setting up a Christmas display. I witnessed far more in effort than I could bring to video as seen in episode 1 and 2. I can only imagine they rest for the 10 months of the year before embarking on next year's display.